and almost 200 applicants coming through the door. And this is all because of the generosity of amazing sponsors and supporters who make it possible for us to be a blessing to families who are, who have kids on the autism spectrum. My goal is just as an organization to support families facing autism and other intellectual disabilities throughout their lifespan. And we've been doing that for the past, we're 16 years old. We're a teenager, almost college bound. And it's been really, really, really impactful in being able to come to the place where we will be announcing 25 families that'll be getting $1,000 each. So just pray for us as we finalize that whole process, that, there'll be families that will be encouraged. And obviously, there are going to be some that are going to be very disappointed. And we absolutely feel that we're hoping that we'll be able to do more next time. And anytime I get to be a part of this process, I'm just in awe of the grace to be able to do it, to be a tool, to be able to be providing these resources. I'm also excited because it's halfway through the year. Can you believe 2024 is almost halfway done? 2024 is almost halfway done. And so we have the second half of the year to look forward to. For many of you, I'm no longer in that category anymore where my child was in school and getting off for the summer because now I have an adult son. Wow, I have adult children. Can you imagine? Uh, I'm just grateful to God that he's kept me young. He's kept me very young, even despite everything we're going through. So there are families out there who are enrolling their children in the summer camps. My hat goes out to you. Really, really, really well done for all the things that you're able to do. So I have been studying a topic that's been very intriguing to me. Then this is actually coming out of my devotion. And so for those of you who join me on these calls and in the empowerment moment, it's because it's a lot of the content that I share is either a conversation I'm having with someone or something that I'm personally deriving joy from and strength from and grace from. And I use that as a basis of conversation because it is a great way for me to share some of the things that God is blessing me with. And it's enabling when people ask me, how do you keep going? How do you stay so young? How do you do X, Y, and Z? And I will actually always say, I can do one of my absolutely favorite portion of scripture says, I could do everything through Jesus Christ who gives me strength. And truly, so when I spend time, meditating, reflecting on the word and something kind of kicks in me, I want to share it. So if you're tuning in, welcome, welcome, welcome. I've been doing this the conversation since 2020. So it just allows me to kind of really share and then hopefully you can draw something out of it. And for our families out there, know that we love you and we care about you. You need anything, reach us at info@mygoalinc.org. But for this particular month, one of the things that I was studying, and I actually had a privilege of being able to do it as a Bible study in my church, it's really something called the Ministry of Angels. And it came around because I was reflecting on the life of Jesus, and there was a story that I read where he was in the wilderness for 40 days, and he had been fasting and waiting and praying. And after the end of the 40 days, he was challenged. I always look at it that he was being bullied. He was being bullied because Satan came and wanted to test him. And he passed the test. So for some people out there listening, if you're going through a season where it just seems like you're being harassed left and right, no, you can take a little portion of encouragement by what I'm sharing. So the what was crucial in how he was able to get through that whole process after standing the test of time is that the Bible said angels attended to him. It's like, angels attended to him. And so I was really fascinated by that as I was like, well, I want to just study a little bit more about how angels can attend or in what ways can they serve and support and so on and so forth. So I dived deeper and came to find out a couple of things. And I truly believe that our children or individuals or people in our lives, they're special for a reason because there are special angels assigned to them. And because of that, when we're facing certain challenges, we can be sure that there is some level of strength that comes about, some level of protection that comes about, some level of guidance that come about. And guess what? It's true. That's what I found out, that angels are actually there to do a number of things. One of them is they meet physical needs. So it was saying that at the end of that time, when Jesus was feeling very, very, very exhausted, in this period, they they attended to him. And then there's also another place where it talks about how they give strength, right? So, and have you ever felt like you're doing something and all of a sudden you just know you're tired, you don't feel like going on anymore. And then something just gives you that grace to just say, you know what, I'm gonna go push. There are invisible beings that are doing that. And it may have been because you were just like, God, I just need your strength. So many of times I would say that, God, I just need strength to keep going. And then all of a sudden, like including doing these programs, every time I'm like, what am I going to talk about? I don't know if there's anybody out there listening to me anyway. But then I'll have this desire. I got to do this because you just never know. There's somebody out there who is at the end of their rope, who is just feeling like I can't do it anymore. Perhaps what I'm going to say may encourage them. That's how I get the strength. So all of a sudden I might be feeling exhausted, then I get a wind of strength. Well, um, it is said that in that same text, when Jesus was in the garden, he had been praying, and it was right before he was going to go to the cross. And he was just like, God, if it's your will, take this cup from me, but nevertheless, not my will, let your will be done. And right after that, angels from heaven attended to him, and they gave him the strength to keep going. So you realize that you can get the strength just by crying like, God, I just need strength. So if you're a family, someone out there, and you're struggling and you're facing challenges, trust me. And as much as my loved one is now an adult, there are still advocacy work that I have to do, still people that I have to knock on doors for. And where moments where you're just like, oh my goodness, this is a lot. This is a journey and a half, you know? I always tell people that for those of us who are caregivers, we're in this constant need of attention and alertness that you have to be all the time. There's certain phone calls that I get and I have to pause immediately and just, it's like I have to put everything to the side and engage to be able to answer the call. So now I tell the team members when Nicholas is at his out and about and somebody has to call me, I just said, when you call, just please say everything is okay, because it's always that moment like, oh my goodness, is everything okay? But that's just because, you know what, he's now not able to articulate that himself for me. So in those moments, we just need strength. And this is where you say, God, give me strength. And guess what? You get the strength. So that was one of the things that I learned. They give you strength. They also give guidance, you know? And so we know that, for example, when Mary and Joseph had a baby, and after the baby was born, there was a really wicked king, and he wanted to get rid of, the baby Jesus. So what an angel did was show up to Joseph and tell him, you need to leave where you are and go to Egypt. And that's exactly what he did. And right after he did that, guess what? The king now sent a message out to kill everybody. Have you ever had this urge that you need to leave and go somewhere from wherever you are, and you just avoided maybe a car accident, or maybe you avoided something that was catastrophic, right? I'll use an example. For some of you, you might know this or might not know this. But my husband was in the tower on September 11th. At the time, our son was only 3 months old. And because he was an engineer, when the plane hit the towers, the structure of the building shook. And he just had it in mind. Let me get up from where I am. He was on the 74th floor. Let me get up from where I am and start going. And he didn't head towards the elevator. He actually took the stairs. And while he was down on the stairs, that's when the second building got hit. And he kept running. And you know what? That's how he was able to escape an untimely death. Because unfortunately, there's some people who lost their lives who were in that building with him. But he knew to get up. And I just think an angel probably guided him away from the elevator to the stairs and going down 74 floors to go all the way down. And this is how he escaped. So I believe an angel just protected him. So there are angels that give you spiritual guidance. And it leads to the next part. They also protect you because during COVID, many of us were praying this Psalm 91 that he'll cause his angels concerning you to guard your ways in all your ways. And it said God will command those angels to protect you. So there is some protection as there. And I gotta tell you, for some of us who get very anxious about our loved ones and how they're going to do and whether they're going to be okay, truthfully, they have angels, and those angels will protect them. And that's really the comfort that I always take and have, because I know that I can't be everywhere with him. I can't be 24 hours watching him. So I have to trust that God will take care of him, and his angels that have been assigned to him will take care of him. Another thing I found out about angels, that they were sent to make special announcements. When Mary was going to have the baby, there was an angel that came and made an announcement and said, "Hey, guess what? This is what you're going to do. This is what's going to happen to you." Sometimes you'll get a great message coming all of a sudden. It could be in the form of a person. Have you ever had that encounter? So I share that to make the point that sometimes we get these encounters and we just think it's just so random. No, that's a God. And he sends angels on our behalf. They're there. And sometimes they can actually show up as human beings, because I was meditating on that, and there's a word in Hebrews 13, verse 2, and it says, "Don't forget to show hospitality to strangers." But by doing so, some people have shown hospitality to angels without even knowing it. So there are some times that you may be very kind to someone, and they might be an angel, and they might give you a message. They might tell you, they may point you out to a particular direction. You have no idea. So the point here is that be kind to people. Some of these individuals with intellectual physical disabilities, you may see them sitting in a chair and you're probably thinking, "Oh, what?" or bypassing them. You never know. So if you're listening to me and you care for individuals that have special needs, know that they may be angels, or their angels are there guarding them. So we just need to be mindful of being like supportive and attentive and being intentional and being open. So I want to leave you with that word of encouragement, that don't forget to be nice to strangers, because you just never know. You may see a car that's stranded somewhere, or someone is going somewhere, and you never know. You may be entertaining an angel, and they may be visiting you to show you guidance. They will be there to help you when you're in need. And above all, it's when we cried out in prayer. So for some of us, we know that our help only comes from God, because there's no other way. That's the reason why I walk in faith. Because when I think about the journey of raising a special needs individual, the journey of raising teenagers who are now young adults, it's only by the grace of God. And it's only come because I have that faith. And I want you to be able to also have that same faith. I share this because I really truly believe that there's someone out there who needs to be reminded that God got your back. And he inspired this organization to be in existence because we are here to support families facing autism and other intellectual disabilities throughout their lifespan. How do we do so? We do so by creating connections, right? And part of the connection is we have monthly activities. And we also share a word of encouragement, like what I'm doing here, to remind people that they can keep going, keep pressing, keep pushing, don't give up, never give in, don't throw in the towel. If you need help, seek help. That's really, really important. And so I'm here every month to remind us, because that's very, very important. So on that note, I'm just going to remind us that we have a couple of upcoming events, and I have my sidekick, my firstborn child, who's not a child. She's a young woman. Senna, you're gonna have to forgive your mother.
Yes, yes, forgiven you are. Forgiven you are. I'm always a child in your eyes.
Yes, thank you. Always the child, always my child. All right, you want to tell us a little bit about what's upcoming?
Yes, everyone. So we are super excited to continue our summer swim event. This is an opportunity for us to, meet in person. I know a lot of people have been having a lot of Zoom and over the internet fatigue. So this is a great opportunity for you to interact and mingle with other families at the Aquatic Center in Parlin, New Jersey. We will be meeting for the second time this summer, July 13th. I know for our families who joined us in June, they had a ton of fun. So we'd love to see you on the month of July. So this is the week after 4th of July weekend. So we look forward to seeing you. And as always, our third session, which is our August date, will be our summer picnic. So after our swimming event, we, hang out, play some outside backyard games. So encourage you to register for both as well. And of course, as always, happy to announce our July empowerment moment with Dr. G. So that will be the last Thursday in July, July 25th, as always. So we look forward to seeing you in person and, of course, with our empowerment moments as always. And I will turn it back over to you, Dr. G.
All right. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Ronke, for joining us. We're just talking about how angels have been sent forth on assignment for us. And it's always awesome to just know that the people who have been surrounding us and supporting us all these years are part of the angels God has placed in our lives. In my other life or my other work that I do, I work in an environment where we work with cancer patients. And anytime I get an opportunity to talk to someone, I always remind them that God has angels that He will send in the form of doctors, therapists, and so on and so forth. So I would say the same thing to our families here. God will use the therapists, He will use the social workers, He'll use all those people to be a source of encouragement to you. So remember that as you go about it and you're wondering where is your source of help going to come from. And as Senna said, we will love to have engagement with all of you. So come and join us in some of our events. And certainly if there are other programs that you're interested in us being a part of or collaborating with us, we would love to do that with you. Because, once again, our goal is to create the connections and ensure that families are supported, and the individuals. When you support a family, obviously you're supporting an individual as well. So we just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for joining us tonight. Do share this link. Obviously we're showing it on our YouTube station and also on Facebook. Take that and share with others and remind them that there are angels all around us. They're watching us, they're protecting us, because God sends them on our behalf and on behalf of our children. So once again, I want to thank you for joining us, and we will see you next month, with all our activities. Be blessed and have a wonderful evening. God bless you.